Good morning everyone. Welcome to Cryoni JMS tutorial. In this video, we will walk you through the complete workflow of Cryoni JMS. Cryoni JMS is a comprehensive end-to-end journal management system designed to manage the entire scholarly publishing lifecycle, from manuscript submission, peer review, editorial decision, production till final publication. Cryoni JMS streamlines every stage of publishing process through a centralized cloud-based platform, helping publishers, editors, reviewers, and authors to collaborate efficiently. So here is the features of Cryoni JMS at glance. As you can see, Cryoni JMS is a cloud-based journal management platform that can be accessed anytime, anywhere through a web browser. There's no complex installations or server setup needed. Built on Microsoft Azure, the platform offers a enterprise-grade security, ensuring that the journal data remains protected, reliable, and always available. Publisher and editor can confidently manage their workflow without concern about the data loss or the security risk. And we do follow GDPR and DPDP compliant. Cryoni JMS follows a pay-per-use pricing model, allowing publisher to scale their operation while paying only for the manuscript, which moves to the peer review stage. The initial disk-rejected manuscript will not be chargeable. And with a zero setup time, publisher can quickly register their publishing house, create their journal, configure their workflow, and begin accepting the submission immediately. Coming to the author point of view, author will be benefit from an intuitive submission portal where they can easily submit their manuscript and track the progress of their submission in real time. One of the key strengths of Cryoni JMS is its ability to streamline and modernize the peer review process. The platform includes AI-powered auto-scope check, smart reviewer suggestion, automated reminders, and customizable email templates to reduce the manual work of the editors. Every stakeholders, including publisher, editors, reviewers, and author, will be having a dedicated role-based access control. So each user will be getting the exact permission and responsibility what they need. And Cryoni JMS follow a single sign-on process. So if the publisher is managing one or multiple journals, everything can be accessed under one single secure login. In addition, the platform provides a centralized document management, version control, real-time manuscript tracking, and the automated production workflow as well. So if the manuscript completes the peer review process, the production work can be carried out in the Cryoni JMS itself. And we are having the additional plugins options such as DOI assignment, APC configuration, Crossref XML, reviewer certificate generation, and more. So at last, once the manuscript completes the production, it can be hosted in our StreamSpace content hosting platform. About the StreamSpace, we can see in the later video. So in this demonstration, we will see the complete publishing workflow from setting up a publishing house, creating a journal, to manuscript submission, editorial screening, peer review, editorial decision making, till final publication. Now let's jump into the demo. So when new publisher decides to use Cryoni JMS, the first step is to create their publishing house. Once the publishing house is set up, they can start creating their journal based on their publishing requirement. Now let me walk you through the process and show how easy it is to get started with Cryoni JMS. Now let's see how a publisher can get started with Cryoni JMS. To begin, the publisher can access the login page, and there are two login methods available. One is login with OTP, another one is login with password. So now I'm going to just log in with OTP. So I'm entering the email address. For this demo purpose, I'm using a temporary email address through a test mail service. However, in a live environment, you can configure any email service provider such as Outlook, Gmail, Microsoft 365, or your preferred mail service provider. So I'm entering the email address. Once the email address is entered, a OTP will be sent to the registered email. I'm entering the OTP. So now OTP is verified. So the publisher needs to complete a quick registration step. They need to enter the full name, choose the country, and agree to the terms of service and privacy policy. Once the registration is completed, click on submit. If the publisher is having their ORCID ID, they can link their ORCID ID as well. So clicking on authorize now. They can link their ORCID ID for the future login. For now, I'm skipping this step. So now the next step is to create the publication house. Now entering the publisher name. Choosing the country, time zone. Next is the contact information. So here the publisher needs to fill the mailing and the billing address. So once all the details are filled, the publisher can click on register now. Now the publishing house has been successfully created. Before moving to the next step, let me set the stage for this demo by explaining the workflow we will be following today. Every publishing house may have its own defined editorial workflow. For this demonstration, we'll follow a workflow where publisher first creates the publishing house and assigns the manage journal permission to a journal manager. So the journal manager will be responsible for managing all journals within the publishing house. So the journal manager then creates the journal and assigns the necessary editorial rules. Here the journal manager will be creating the journal and assign the editorial rules for the journal, such as editor-in-chief, editor, editorial board member, and associate editor. Once a manuscript is submitted by an author, it is automatically assigned to an editor for an initial screening. So here the EIC will be evaluating the submission for its scope, quality, compliance with the journal guidelines. So next, if the manuscript passes the initial screening, it is assigned to the editorial board member or associate editor to manage the peer review process. Here, the associate editor or the editorial board member will be overseeing the reviewer selection and coordinate the review process. So the reviewer comments, recommendations are collected and assessed by the editorial board member or associate editor. Next, once after the review process is completed, the final decision will be made by the EIC. The manuscript is then returned to the editor-in-chief for the final editorial decision. Once the editor-in-chief accepts the paper, it then moves to the production stage for copy editing or typesetting or the production-related task. So this is the workflow we are going to follow today in today's demo. With this workflow in mind, let's now proceed to see the complete process in action. Now let's take a look at the admin settings. In Crayoni JMS, the publisher will be assigned as the role of the administrator, providing the complete control over the platform for their publishing house. On the right-hand side, you can find the admin settings. Click on the settings, click on manage. So here the settings for the admin will be shown here. Now under the user management, all the registered user under this publication house will be listed out here. The administrator can view, manage and monitor the user action from this section. If they want to edit any user details, they can click edit and edit the details and make it updated. So next comes the user field configuration. This user field configuration allows the administrator to customize the information collected when inviting a new user. Let's say, for example, when a journal manager or publisher sends an invite to the editors, so an invite form will be popped out. In that invite form, the sections will be shown here, such as first name, email ID, phone numbers, address, all the details will be shown here. So here, the user can configure which and all fields are mandatory. Example, if the phone number is not mandatory, at that time you can click on optional. So in this user invite form also, this phone number section will be marked as optional. So next important section is the roles. Here the administrator can create and manage different roles within the system. So for creating a new role, the admin can click on create role. If a user is responsible for managing only the user, so the administrator, at that time, the administrator can give manage user permission. Or let's say, for example, if a person who is responsible for all the journal in the publication house, the publication house is having 6 to 7 journal, a user will be managing all the journals. So at that time, the admin can give the manage journal permission to them. Or if the administrator wants to give it the billing access to the finance team, at that time they can give only the auditing and the billing access to them. So that section only will be visible to them. Now I'll just create a journal manager role and show you. Example, if a person who's responsible for managing all the journals inside this publication house. So I'm entering the role name as journal manager and giving only the manage journal permission. So now the role is saved. Since no user is configured in this demo account, I'm going to click on assign user, click on journal manager, selecting the role. Since no users are there, I'm going to invite the journal manager by clicking on the invite user. So this is the invite form which I've said previously. Here in this field can be configured using the user field configuration section. So if the degree is not mandatory, it can be configured there. So this mandatory symbol will be removed. So now I'm going to invite the journal manager, entering the journal manager full name. Entering the phone number, country. So once all the necessary details are filled, you can just click on invite. Enter the email ID. Now the journal manager is invited to the Crayoni platform. Under the pending invite, you can see the invite has sent to the journal manager. So now let's log in as a journal manager and accept the invite and see how the portal shows to them. Now I'm going to log in as a journal manager, entering the email ID of the journal manager, entering the OTP. Here you can see the invite has arrived to the journal manager mail ID. So from here the journal manager can log in and accept the invite. So since the journal manager is a first time user, they need to complete the registration step as we seen in the before. So now the journal manager has received the invite. They can view the invite. They can choose whether to accept or decline the invite. Now I'm accepting the invite. Here, the journal manager can start creating the journal for the publishing house and add the exact users for the particular journal and start taking the process. So here in the settings part, you can see now. So since the admin has given only the journal manage journal permission, here the report section is only showing to them. All the other option will not be shown. So this is how the role can be configured from the admin side. So now let's shift to the admin login itself to see the other options. So now I'm back to the administrator login. Now we can see a new role has been added, journal manager, to which the user has been added here. So next comes the publisher information. Here the information of the publishing house can be edited. Admin can upload the logo of the publishing house, and if there's any address changes and all, they can edit it from here. So next comes the billing management. So all the billing details for every month will be shown here. The usage of the Crayoni JMS, like how many manuscript has been processed and what is the billing for the month will be shown here. So next comes the logs. For each and every action performed in the JMS, the log will be recorded. So all the logs will be recorded under the log section. So next comes the report. To the publication house, how many of a journal it may be. It may be 6 or 7 journals. All the journal reports can be collected from the admin section. Here, if the admin can collect like how many manuscript has been accepted and what is the status and stage the manuscript is in and what is the APC financial report. All the details can be collected under the report section. So next comes the supplier. Yes, as we discussed in the intro section, publisher is opting for the production management system as well in Crayoni JMS. They can invite their external suppliers to the platform. So here they can invite their external suppliers to carry out the production related task. So this we can see in the next video, the production workflow configuration. Now we have seen all about the settings part. Now We have covered the global settings available to the publisher. Let's move on to the next step, creating a journal. A journal can be either created by the publisher or the user who have granted the manage journal permission. So the journal manager also can create the journal and start managing it. Once the journal is created, the publisher or the journal manager can assign access and roles to the editor-in-chief, editors, and other journal staff members. So for this demonstration, I will switch to my demo account where I have already configured several journals and users. So this will provide you a clear understanding of how the system functions in real-world publishing environment. Let's proceed with journal creation process. I'm now logging in using an account that has a manage journal permission. As a journal manager, I'm now responsible for managing all the journal associated with the publishing house. So now let's move on to the journal manager account and create the journal. Now let's start creating a journal. I have logged into the journal manager's account. Here you can see the publication house name to which the list of journals already created. For creating a new journal, click on Create New Journal. Journal creation in Crayoni JMS is a one-time setup process. Once the journal is created and configured, all the author submission will follow the settings and the workflow defined during this configuration. In other words, whatever the journal manager configure at this stage will directly influence the author submission process and the overall editorial workflow. So creating a journal is simple. In Crayoni JMS, it's all form-based. So the journal manager can enter the details of the journal. The first step is entering the journal title, journal abbreviation and acronym, and next the journal manager will be choosing the journal type, open access, and the corresponding license type will be chosen here. Next, entering the online ISSN and the print ISSN. Next is the journal welcome page content. This welcome page content will be shown to the author while they are submitting the manuscript. Next comes the journal scope. So in Crayoni JMS, there is an AI-based out-of-scope checker. With this journal scope, the author manuscript will be compared. So whether it matches with the scope or not. Once the author submitted the manuscript, the editorial user can see whether the manuscript matches with the scope or not. Configuring the journal scope is a very important step here, as we are having the inbuilt AI scope checker. So the journal scope will be compared with the author's manuscript and provide the editors an instant score that whether the submitted manuscript is within or out of scope. So once the journal scope is configured, let's move on to the next step, article configuration. In article configuration, the journal manager will be defining what all the article type is accepted and the corresponding review type to it. From the drop-down, the journal manager can choose the article type and the corresponding review type, whether it's single blind, double blind, or open review. And they can choose whether the similarity proof needs to be submitted or not. And if the article type is not in the drop-down, the journal manager can create their own article type as well. So click on Create. And next is the submission tracking ID. For each and every journal entering the JMS platform will be assigned as a unique article ID. So the article sequence numbers or the tracking ID needs to be edited. It can be edited from here. And next is some of the settings where the journal manager can design based on their journal guidelines, whether they can give permission to the editorial user to override the review type or not, or whether the co-author verification is mandatory while author submitting the manuscript. And if the journal is going for the print version, whether they want to get the color figure information from the author while they are submitting the manuscript. Example, if it's going for print version, in the author submission page, there will be one option where author can choose how many color figures are there in their manuscript and which color they want, whether they want in black and white or color. The author will be entering the details of the color figure information while they are submitting the manuscript. And next thing is the production management. If the journal manager wants to integrate the Crayoni production management system, they can give it as yes. And next is the conflict of interest form. Journal manager can upload their journal conflict of interest form here. So this will be shown to the author while they are submitting the manuscript. So the author will be downloading the form and filling the details and re-uploading it. The next step is the file format. Here, Here, the journal manager will be defining what all the file type and file format the author needs to submit. Manuscript is made as mandatory. So here they can choose the file format, whether they want in doc or docx. And they can enter the additional file type as well. So if the file type is not in the drop down, they can add the new file type and choose the corresponding format, file format. And they can choose whether it is mandatory or not. So the next step is entering the subject and discipline. Here the journal manager can enter n number of subject and disciplines. And can get discipline. And next is the submission language. Here the journal manager can define the submission language. What all the submission language they are accepting the submission. The fourth step is configuring the author and the reviewer guidelines. Here the journal manager will be entering the author guidelines, and if they want to attach the Word format, they can do it here. They can attach the author guidelines attachment as well. Now I'm entering the author guidelines. I have entered the author guidelines. Next step is defining the reviewer guidelines. Now the reviewer guidelines is entered. So the final step is the preview. So here the journal manager can preview the information. Once everything is fine, they can click on create. Now you can see a new journal has been created. Since this is a new journal, no roles has been configured yet. Now let's move on to the journal settings and journal configuration. The journal manager wants to edit any information, they can come to the journal configuration page and edit the information. So here comes the article. So here there is an additional settings, that is the editorial workflow flexibility. So this settings determines how strictly the journal wants to follow its editorial workflow. If the journal workflow prefers a structured process, this option can remain disabled. In that case, a manuscript can move to the next step only after all the required actions are completed, such as revision request or the reviewer needs to complete the review. So once all the steps are completed only, it will be moving to the next stage. However, some journals may require the flexibility in handling special cases. By enabling this option, editors can move manuscript between stages even when certain revisions or reviews are still pending. For example, the editor has invited 5 reviewers, in which the 4 reviewers accepted the invite to review, but only 2 reviewers has completed. So the editor feels it can be moved to the production. By enabling this option, it can enable this option. So this gives the editors the flexibility to move to the next stage even if the peer reviews are pending. So likewise, even if the revisions are pending, if the editor wants to move to the next stage, they can enable the options. In most cases, the journal that follows a strict editorial policy keep this option disabled, while the journals that need more flexibility can enable them based on their workflow requirements. So the next additional option available here is the submission checklist. Here the journal manager can define the checklist item that author must review and confirm before proceeding with the manuscript submission. So this checklist helps and ensures the authors complies with the journal submission requirement and policy. So by default, we have given 3 checklists. The journal manager wants to edit this checklist, they can click on edit and edit the content. Or if they want to add new checklist item, they can click on add item and add the checklist item. They can swap based on the priority as well. So next comes the tag configuration. Here the journal manager can define the response and review due date for authors and reviewers. These settings are automatically applied throughout the editorial workflow. For example, When an editor-in-chief sends a revision request or change request to the author, the system will automatically use this configured timeline. So the journal manager can specify how many days the author can take to acknowledge the revision request and how many days are allowed to complete and submit the revision. For instance, I'm just choosing the author needs to acknowledge the change request within 4 days and needs to complete the revision within 10 days. Same follows for the revision request as well. So next is the reviewer invitation. So if the editor sends the invite to the reviewer, how many days they can take to accept the invite and how many days they can take to complete the review. This reduces the manual work of the editor. The editor doesn't want to set the turnaround time for every submission manually. Once this is set for this particular journal, for all the submissions, this timeline will be configured. Next comes the review. Here the journal manager can define whether the review form is needed for every review request. So and then they can configure the review form here. So once the review form is attached, if the editor is sending the review request for every reviewer, once the reviewer accepts the invite, while they are submitting the review, they need to fill the form as well by entering the comments. Now let's move on to the second option, that is site info. So here you can find the journal access link. So this is the link the publisher will be embedding in the journal website. So under the submit manuscript button, this link will be embedded. So when the author clicks on this link, it will be redirected to their journal submission page. So this is how the preview looks for the author. When the cover image is added, the cover image will be showing here. And the journal manager can give the optional link to the author. Example, for author, they can give the author submission link. And for the reviewer, they can give the reviewer guidelines, and about the journal link can be given here. So next comes the user roles and settings. This is where the journal manager will be defining the users for the journal. So under the editorial roles, all the editorial members can be added here. Editorial board members, associate editor, EIC can be added here. And next tab is the reviewer. Here, the reviewer will be added. So if the journal manager is having bulk amount of reviewer, they can invite the reviewer as well. So the third thing is the author. Here the author cannot be invited, but all the authors submitting to this particular journal will be listed out here. So now let's create a new role, editor-in-chief. So as I said previously, Crayoni JMS follows a role-based access control. So here they can define, the journal manager can define the roles and responsibilities of the EIC. So what all the permission the EIC will be having. So I'm giving all the required permission for the EIC here. So once the role is defined, you can save it and click on assign users. Click on the role and you can invite the user. Now you can see I have filled all the information of the EIC and click on invite. So now in the pending section, you can see a new EIC has been invited. So once the EIC accepts the invite, so they will be part of the editorial roles here. So same for the reviewer. So now let's see how to add a reviewer. So since there is no reviewers added before, let's invite the reviewer. Let's add the reviewer's name. Entering the email ID. So here, if needed, you can add the reviewer biography and in which field they are expertise. This is the important thing. We need to add the expertise of the reviewer, in which field they are specialized. So this will be helpful for the editor while they are assigning the reviewer. Once the editor is assigning the reviewer, this expertise will be showing here under the filter option. So they can filter out the reviewer based on the expertise. I'm adding the reviewer who's specialized in AI and IoT. So once all the details are filled, you can invite the reviewer. So once the reviewer accepts the invite, they will be part of the reviewer list. And there is an option for import Excel as well. You can download the sample Excel here. Based on the sample Excel, you can fill all your reviewers' detail and import them. So next comes the email settings. So for each and every action in Crayoni JMS, an email will be triggered to the concerned user. So all the emails will be given here. The email content will be shown here. The journal manager wants to edit any information, they can edit it from here. Based on this, there's a variable options as well. What all the variables they need to add, they can edit the mail template and save it if needed. So if a particular mail needs to be CC and BCC, they can add the mail ID here. And if the journal manager feels this mail should not be triggered, they can mark this mail as inactive. So once it's marked as inactive, this mail will not be triggered. And in Crayoni, we are having the mail trigger configuration option as well. Here you can define like how many days the reminder mail should go to each and every user. So example, if an editor requested a revision or change request to the author, so the deadline has been crossed. So how many days after the reminder mail should go? So this configuration can be defined here. Example, once the author missed the deadline, you can set after 1 day, the reminder mail should go. At what interval? At a time interval of 3 days, a mail should be going to them. And what is the maximum number of email should go? So once the maximum number of reminder mail is reached, the mail will be stopping. So as that, you can define for all the scenarios, you can define the mail trigger configuration. So, and next is the reports. So for this particular journal, the editor can download the reports here. Come to the journal settings and report. They can be downloading the reports. So in previous, what we have seen is for the whole publisher. So that is the admin access. So admin can see for the whole journal. Like if they are having 2 to 3 journal, all the reports can be seen by them. Here, this report is for the particular journal. So now we have seen all about the settings part. So now let's move on to the previous journal account which I'm having. So to see the plugins option there. Now let's see the plugins option. In Crayoni, there are 5 plugins available. So I have enabled all the plugins. Now let's see one by one. So the first is the DOI configuration. This plugin enables the journal to generate and assign DOI to the published article directly from the system. So before configuring the DOI plugin, the publisher must obtain the DOI prefix from the Crossref. So they need to register with Crossref and get their publisher ID. Once the DOI prefix has been registered, the publisher can navigate to the global settings. So as we have already seen, so in the global settings, under the publisher information, the publisher would have registered the DOI prefix number here. So once the DOI prefix numbers is entered, so it automatically fetched into the DOI configuration. And here the journal manager can define in which stage the DOI will be generated. Usually it will be generated in the production stage. So that production is selected and they can choose their suffix pattern. As you can see in the right hand side, there are many suffix code available. Based on this suffix code, the journal manager can choose the suffix pattern based on the article or issue basis. So I'm clicking on the issue and with this pattern available, I'm choosing the issue pattern here. I chose a journal abbreviation, volume number, issue number and article ID. This would be the suffix pattern. So that suffix pattern varies among publishing house to publishing house. So based on your publishing house guidelines, you can set the suffix pattern here. In Crayoni, the customizable DOI option is also available. I will show you when the editorial workflow takes place. I will show you that option, how the customizable DOI works. So once the pattern is set here, the journal manager can click on save. So now the DOI configuration is saved. Now let's move on to the APC configuration. This plugin allows the journal manager to configure and manage the article processing charge for the journal. If the journal follows an open access publishing model or charges author for the publishing fees, the APC settings can be enabled and configured. So before configuring the APC, the payment methods needs to be configured. So here the journal manager can set the payment details. So I already added the PayPal account. So they can select the payment method and enter the name of the payment and enter the API key and API secret and save the payment method for the online. And for the offline method, I have already configured bank transfer and check transfer. We can enter the, now I'm configuring the wire transfer method. Select the payment method. If you want to give any description to the author, it can be given here, and any instruction documents can be uploaded here, how the author needs to pay. So once you can click this save, the offline payment method is updated. Creony JMS provides only the platform for the APC, so the payment will be directly landed to the bank account configuring here. So now let's move on to the APC configuration. Here you can see I have already configured two APC. So now let's proceed adding other APC. So give the name of the APC and the base fees and choose the currency. And if you're giving any discounts to the author, it can be given here, and any tax applicable can be given here. So description for the author. And next step is the journal manager wants to define the workflow stage when the APC payment will be triggered. So once after the submission stage, or after the review stage, or after production, in which stage you are going to trigger the APC. So usually it will be triggered once the review is completed and moves to the production stage, the APC will be triggered. So I'm giving that. And if the author, next step is author can apply for a fee waiver or not. So if it's clicked on yes, these are for author, there will be an option provider. They can request for a waiver. So the waiver request also can be handled in the JMS system itself. And next is the option. Do you want to block the APC? Do you want to block the article if the APC is not paid? So I have set the APC trigger as production stage. So once it reaches the production stage and the author doesn't respond to the APC or not paid the APC, so it can't be moved to the completed stage. So when author pays the payment, then only it will be moving to the next stage. And next here you can configure what payment method is accepted. Online, offline, and here you can choose the payment method. So this details will be shown to the author. Once all the details are filled, you can hit create. Now you can see the new article processing charge configuration has been enabled here. So now let's move on to the next configuration, that is reviewer certificate. Once this plugin is enabled, you can choose the reviewer certificate. So whenever a reviewer completes the review certificate will be automatically generated to them. So you can choose the certificate design here, and with the editor-in-chief or the journal manager signature can be entered here. Who's the responsible for entered here? So next comes the Crossref XML generation. Once this plugin is enabled, once a manuscript completes the production stage, the Crossref XML can be generated from the system itself. So the publisher can use the XML for the indexing purposes. So now we have seen the plugins part. Now let's see how an author submits the manuscript for this journal. Now let's see how author submits the manuscript in Creony JMS. Usually the author will be getting the link from the journal website. So the publisher would have integrated the submission link in the journal website. From there, when the author clicks on submit manuscript, it redirects to the submission portal. From here, the author can enter the email ID. So there's a two-way to log in for the author. They can enter the email ID and log in via OTP, or they can log in via password. There's a two option available. Now I'm logging via OTP. Click on continue. The OTP will be generated. The author needs to enter the OTP. Once OTP is verified, the author need to complete the quick registration here. They need to enter the full name, country, and agree to the terms of service and privacy policy. And next step is, like if the author is having the ORCID ID, they can link the ORCID ID to the Creony JMS for the future login. So they can click on authorize now and link their ORCID ID. For now, I'm skipping this step. So this is how the interface looks for the author. The publication house name will be showing and the journal name will be showing to the author. From here, the author can start submitting their manuscript. Click on create new submission. The author guidelines will be shown here. The checklist. Click on accept and next. Next, the basic text. such as manuscript title, subtitle, needs to be filled by the author. Keyword, submission language, subject, article type, and the author will be entering the abstract. So the next step is the co-author. So if the author is having co-authors for their manuscript, they can add the co-author details here. Before that, the author needs to complete his or her affiliation details. So for that, click on edit and enter the required details. Here the affiliation details needs to be entered. Choose the country. Once all the details are filled, click on update. So if the author is having another affiliation, they can click on add another affiliation and add the details. So now the author affiliation is updated. Now let's start adding the co-authors. So click on add co-author and enter the details of the co-authors here. And choose the contributor rule. And enter the affiliation of the co-authors. Once all the mandatory details are filled, click on submit. So now the co-author details is added. Now let's move to the next step. So the next step is the reviewer preference. This is the optional one. If the author is having the suggested and opposed reviewer, they can add the details of the reviewers here. So if the author wants to suggest any reviewer to review their paper, if they know their first name, email ID and institution, they can add the details here. Click on add suggested reviewer. So here you can see the suggested reviewer is added, but this decision is purely based on the editorial team. So if they want to send this manuscript to the suggested reviewer, they will be sending, but this is not guaranteed. So like same wise, if the author is having any opposed reviewer, they can add the details here. Move on to the next step. So here, this is the most important step. Here is where the author will be uploading the file type. Since here you can see the green color marked as mandatory. Uploading the mandatory files now. Manuscript, source file, and the author needs to include the color figure information. They need to include how many figures are there in their manuscript and how many table, and they can choose in which color they need, black and white or color. So this sixth step is the license agreement. Since the journal follows the hybrid access, so both the licenses showing, here author can choose whether they want an open access or subscription. So the corresponding license type will be showing to them. And next is the conflict of interest form. So here there is an option to download the conflict of interest form. So the author can download the form, fill it and re-upload it. So the eighth step is the article processing charge. Here the author can choose the article processing charges and waiver is allowed. So if needed, the author can request a waiver as well. So they can mention for the reason. The author can mention the reason for the waiver request, and if there is any supporting document is there, they can upload the supporting document here. So the final step is the preview. The author can preview the submission. Once all the details are fine, they can click on submit manuscript. So once after submitted, the manuscript cannot be edited. So now we can see the manuscript is submitted and the status is changed to article submitted. And the author will be also having a dashboard option. So here they can get all the metrics here. How many articles they are submitted to this particular journal, how many years in the review stage, production, all the metrics will be shown here. Next, let's see how the editorial workflow takes place for this manuscript. This is the journal manager account. So now I'm moving to the user roles and settings. For this demo, I've already configured the user for this particular journal. Under the editorial roles, I have added the editor-in-chief, associate editor, editorial board members with the required permission. And same for the reviewer. I have added the list of reviewer with the expertise mentioned. So when an author submits the manuscript, the submitted manuscript will be moving to the EIC for the initial screening. For that, now let's log in as an editor-in-chief to see how the workflow takes place. Let's see how the editorial workflow takes place in Crayoni JMS. So that I have logged in into the editor-in-chief account, clicking on the particular journal. And this is how the interface looks with all the necessary details such as article ID, article type, and what status the article is in. So here, this is the recent submitted article. So moving on to the submission. So under the submission file, the author submitted manuscript will be shown. And in the summary, all the details of the manuscript will be given here. Abstract, license agreement, contributors. So in the journal setting, if co-author verification is set as mandatory, the editor-in-chief can resend the invite also. If the co-author still not accepted the invite, the editor-in-chief can resend the invite. So this is about the summary section. Let's come back to the workflow. Here, the editor-in-chief can download all the manuscript and complete their initial screening. Before that, let's see how the waiver request is handled in Crayoni JMS. So under waiver request, you can click the author email and what is the APC they have chosen and what's the amount, and the waiver request details will be shown here. So the EIC can make the decision, click on make decision, and they can approve or reject the waiver request. So once they approve it, there will be a payment method. The EIC can decide whether they can give the full waiver or partial waiver. Choosing the partial, 50% discount. So now here the waiver request is approved, but from the author side, they need to approve the waiver percent which is given by the EIC. For that, now let's move to the author login. Here you can see the status as waiver approved. So the author can click on the drop down. So here the waiver request reason will be shown here, and what is the waiver percent which is approved by the EIC will be shown here. So under this action section, for author there will be two options available, whether they can accept the waiver request or request a revised waiver as well. For now, I'm accepting this waiver request as an author. So now the waiver is finalized. So since the original amount is $100, with 50% rate, the payable amount is $225. So this details would have shown to the EIC as well. Here you can see the status would have changes to waiver finalized. So this is how the waiver request is handled in Crayoni JMS. Now let's move on to the another option, pre-review discussion. The editor-in-chief will start the screening process and check whether the submitted manuscript matches with the journal scope, guidelines, and it's clear from plagiarism check. So all the checks will be done from the EIC side. So if the EIC has any clarification needs to be clarified from the author, they can use this discussion section at the time. The EIC can click on add discussion and select the participant for this discussion who all the participant needed. Clicking on author and enter the subject and the message needs to be conveyed. Yes, they can enter the message, and if there's any supporting file needs to be attached, EIC can attach it and click on add discussion. So now you can see a discussion section is opened here. So to this, the author will be responding to the editor-in-chief comments. And during the initial screening process, the editor-in-chief feels there's correction needed in the manuscript, so they can request changes here. So in the submission file section, there's a request change button. So in this, they can request changes. So first, the editor-in-chief needs to set the response due date and review due date for the author. So the response due date is date which the author needs to acknowledge for the change request. And the review due date is when they need to submit the revised manuscript. Now let's enter the author's instruction, what all the changes needed. So once the notes to author is entered, and there's an additional upload file option as well. So at this time, like if there's any supporting document needs to be attached, the EIC can add it. Now, once the change request is done, click on submit. Now you can see here in the left hand side a new tab has been opened, that is request changes. So once the EIC clicks on the drop down, the details will be shown here, what all the comments the EIC has given to the author. So now change request is done. The EIC want to delete the request. Under action, there is an option for delete. So now let's move on to the author's login and submit the change request. So here the author would have received the email regarding the revision requested in the pre-review stage. So now let's move on to the submission. Here, under this, the author can view what is the changes needed. So before responding to the changes, the author needs to accept the change request. First, they need to acknowledge it, and then they need to make the revision in the manuscript and upload the changes. So the author can click on upload changes and upload the revision. So if the EIC has the revision for the manuscript, they can correspondingly attach the revision for the manuscript. And if the author wants to add any additional files, they can choose the file type and add it. So now the author has responded to the revision request. So now let's move back to the editor's login. Same way, the editor-in-chief also would have received an email that the changes has been uploaded by the author. From there, they can log in and see the changes done. So from the editor's login, the file will be shown here. This is the change requested file from the editor-in-chief, and this is the updated file uploaded by the author. So EIC can download the file and complete their initial screening and make the final decision. For making the final decision, there is an option under Actions tab. There is a 3 option showing. EIC is not satisfactory with the manuscript. They can decline the submission. They can click on decline and enter the reason. And if the manuscript passes the initial screening, they can click on accept and send to review. So before that, the review part will be, if the manuscript is satisfactory, and the review part will be taken care by the editorial board members. So here there's an option in the left hand side, there's a participant option. So the EIC will be assigning the participant to take care of the review process. Selecting the role name, choosing the user to take care of the review process. So now you can see a new participant has been added. Now the EIC can click on action, accept and send to review. So this is the check has been done by the EIC, the administrative check, scope and relevance check, plagiarism check, and the similarity proof documents will be uploaded here. And the EIC needs to choose what all the files needs to move to the review. So this is the updated file which is sent by the author. So I'm moving the source file as well. So now the manuscript is moved to the review stage. Now let's log in as an editorial board member and take care of the review process. To carry out the review process, I have logged into the editorial board member account. So clicking on the particular journal, and EBM has received the email regarding the manuscript has moved to the review stage. From here, they can log in and take care of the review process. I'm moving on to the particular submission. Here you can see I have logged in as an editorial board member. So under the review files, the files sent by the EIC to the review stage will be shown here. And since this journal follows a double-blind peer review process, so the editorial board member needs to upload the anonymized manuscript by removing the author name, affiliation details. Click on choose file and upload the anonymized manuscript. So now you can see the anonymized manuscript is uploaded. So this is the manuscript which will be sent to the reviewer. The same option which we have seen in before, it's peer review discussion. So if the editorial board member wants to clarify any doubts with the author, they can open the discussion section and clarify the doubts. So now let's move to the all review. Now let's start the peer review process. For peer review process, the editorial board member needs to assign the reviewer. So click on add reviewer. In Crayoni JMS, there is a two option for adding the reviewer. One is create new queue and another one is the add individual reviewer. Let's start with create new queue option. So how this create queue works is on a first come first serve basis. Let's say for example, if the editorial board member is inviting 5 reviewers and you're setting the limit as 3. So once the 3 reviewers accepted the invite, the other pending invitation will be getting automatically cancelled. So this saves the lot of time for the editors for manually going and cancelling the review. So now the editorial board member can click on explore all reviewers. All the reviewer list will be shown here. The editor can use the filter option and filter out the reviewer based on the expertise, rating and availability. And in this dashboard, like in this view also, you will be getting a key metrics like for this particular reviewer, how many manuscript is invited, how many it is in the pending, completed, and how many manuscript the reviewer declined. All the details will be shown here. So now, I'll filter out the reviewer based on the expertise. So now I have added 4 reviewer from the list and set the review limit as 3. So once 3 reviewer accept the invite, the other 1 invite will be getting automatically cancelled. So now next the response and review due date is automatically fetched based on the journal configuration. If the editorial board member wants to change the due date, they can do it manually here. So and they will be selecting the review form which needs to send to the reviewer and select the anonymized manuscript. Since this journal follows the double blind review process, the anonymized manuscript will be sent to the reviewer for review. And the message to the reviewer can be given here. So now all the details has been filled for assigning the reviewer. Now the editorial board member can click on assign reviewer. Now you can see the 4 reviewer have been invited. So under this drop down, all the information of the reviewer will be given here. What's the email? What is the file sent to them? Type of review and the review form. So if the editorial board member wants to decline the invite or cancel the reviewer, they can give cancel here. Or if they want to resend the invite to them, they can give the resend invite. So the mail will be automatically triggered to the reviewer. So now let's see another option, add individual reviewer. So click on add individual reviewer. So this option works like, so if the EBM feels this reviewer would be perfect match for this manuscript, so at that time they can individually invite the reviewer. So here only one reviewer can be invited. So the same process continues. Select the review form and select the minister which needs to review and enter the message for the reviewer and click on assign reviewer. Now you can see the total 5 reviewer has been assigned. In individual, 1 reviewer is assigned. In the queue option, 1 queue is open and under which the 4 reviewer has been assigned. So even if you want to edit this queue, you can click on edit the existing queue. So you can select the queue number and you can add even more 1 or 2 reviewers to this queue itself. Now we have seen how to invite the reviewer for the particular manuscript. Now let's go back to the reviewer's login and see how to accept the invite and how the review process takes place. Now we have logged in into reviewer's account to carry out the peer review process. So clicking on the particular journal. So this is the interface for the reviewer. So here under the pending reviews, the list of pending reviews will be shown here. And under the completed, the list of completed reviews will be shown here. So now let's view the invite. So the recent invite. So the first step is request for review. Here for the reviewer, manuscript will not be shown at the first stage. It is the request for review will be shown to them with the submission details such as the journal title, article ID, article type and abstract with the editor's request date, like response due date and review due date will be shown here. So there's a two option for the reviewer, whether they can accept the invite and start the peer review process, or they can decline the review invite by giving the reason. So now I'm accepting this invite. So the next step is the guidelines. So the reviewer guidelines will be shown here. So accept and next. So the third step is the download and review. So this is the important step. So here under the review files, so the file will be shown here. So here the reviewer can download the file and start their peer review process. So once the reviewer completes the reviewer can download the review form and enter their comments and feedback in the review form. And there is a discussion section available for the reviewer as well. So here under the participants, the author will not be included. So only the editorial board member and the reviewer will be included. If the reviewer has any clarification, they can ask directly to the editorial board member using the discussion option. So now, once the reviewer completes the reviewer can make decision by clicking on make decision. So the first step is the reviewer needs to upload the completed review form. And if there's any additional documents needs to be attached, they can add it here. And the next step is the review comments to author. Here, the reviewer can give the comments to the author based on their review. And then there's a confidential comment to the editor. And then the reviewer needs to choose the recommendation, whether they are going to accept the submission or decline or revision needed. So for this first, I'm accepting the submission. So once all the details are filled by the reviewer can submit the review. Once the reviewer submitted the review certificate will be downloaded. The reviewer can download the review certificate here. So this is how the peer reviewer performs their review in Crayoni JMS. Now let's move on to the another reviewer login and complete the review. Now I have logged into the another reviewer's account. Click on the particular journal and viewing the pending invitation. Being to the terms and service. Accept the invite. Accept the guidelines. And here the same step continues. So the reviewer will be downloading file and make the review. So here I'm going to make a decision as request revision. So uploading the review form. Entering the comments to the author based on the review. Minor revision required. Entering the comments to the editor. So I'm choosing the recommendation as revision required. So once all the steps is done, reviewer can click on submit review. So now let's see how the auto cancellation works. Like we have previously seen the queue option. So the editor has invited 4 reviewers and set the review limit as 3. So once 3 reviewer accepts the invite, the pending invitation will be getting cancelled. So for that, I'm just going to log into the another reviewer account. So this is another reviewer account. I'm just going to accept the invite. Now I have accepted the review invite of the third reviewer. Now let's go back to the editorial account to see how this auto cancellation works. Here I have logged into the editor's account. You can see here we have invited 4 reviewers in the queue and set the limit as 3. So now you can see the 3 reviewers accepted the invite, so that another invitation has got automatically cancelled. We can see the recommendation as well. 2 reviewers has completed the review and the recommendation is given here, and 1 reviewer has just accepted the invite yet to complete the review. Now you can see the 3rd reviewer also has completed the review. So now I'm moving to the editorial account, and you can see here the 3 reviewers has completed their review. So to view the reviewer comments, the editorial member can click on the drop down and see under this information section, all the details of the reviewer and the reviewer comments will be shown. The reviewer email and the review form submitted by the reviewer. So here the editorial board member can download the form and view the reviewer comments. And the reviewer comments to the author is shown here, and comments to the editor is shown here, and with the recommendation. So based on the reviewer comments, the editorial board member can give rating to the reviewer. By clicking on edit, they can give the rating. So this is how the editorial board member will be viewing the reviewer comments. So if there's any discussion is initiated, they can click on discussion to see if there's any discussion is initiated or not. Let's say for example, if the editorial board member wants to change the reviewer recommendation, under this action, there's an option, change reviewer recommendation. So here, the editorial board member can change the recommendation as well, but this will be notified to the reviewer via email. So now, the review process is completed. Since 2 reviewers sent the recommendation as revision required, so the editorial board member will be sending the revision request to the author. For sending the revision request to the author, the editorial board member can click on send review to author. So here, when they are clicking on send review to author, all the reviewer comments will be auto-combined here. So what all the reviewer given the comments to the author will be combined here. So the editor can set the response and review due date to the author and view the reviewer comments. Since the first reviewer accepted the invite as an editorial board member, I'm editing this comment here. Click on save and next. And this is the second comment of the reviewer. So the editorial board member can add or delete any comments if needed. So there is an edit option available. Clicking on save and next. This is the 3rd reviewer comments. And this is the final preview. So this is how it will be shown to the author. The revision request will be shown to the author. We have edited the first comment and this is the preview. So now let's send the revision request to the author. Click on send to author. Then the left hand side, a new tab has opened, that is revision details. So now the revision is requested to the author. So all the details will be shown here. What is the notes to author? So now let's move on to the author's login and submit the revision requested. Now I have logged into the author's account. So here you can see the manuscript is under the review stage. Under the revision details, the editor's comments is shown here. So the notes to the author, the comments sent by the editorial board member is shown here. So the author can first acknowledge the revision. He can accept the revision request and make the necessary correction to the manuscript and upload the revised manuscript. So since the revision is asked for the manuscript, I am uploading the revision corresponding to the manuscript. Click on upload file. Now the revision requested in the review stage, the author has submitted the revision. So here you can see the original file requested and this is the updated file sent by the author. And here for the version control, it's automatically changed to R1. So how many our revision is updated? It will be shown in the incremental order. So now let's move back to the editor's login. So in the editor's login, the status has changed to revision submitted. So the editor can view the updated files here. Now the peer review process is completed in the JMS. So here the final decision will be made by the EIC. So if needed, the editorial board member can just notify the EIC regarding this as in the discussion section. Enter the subject, add the message and send to the EIC. So now the EIC would be notified that the peer review process has been completed and he or she will be making the final decision. Now let's log into the EIC account. I have logged into the editor-in-chief account to make the final decision. So the editor-in-chief can see the discussion that the editorial board member has mentioned that the peer review process has been completed. So and the revision files has been shown here. So here the editor-in-chief can decide whether to move to the another round of peer review for this revised manuscript or to move to the production stage. So here and then here one reviewer is it's in the invited stage itself, yet not completed the review or accepted the invite. So the editor-in-chief can decide whether to wait for the reviewer or let's move to the production process. So if they want to cancel the reviewer, they can click on Action, Cancel Reviewer. And the reason for cancelling reviewer should be entered. Here the editor-in-chief can enter the reason for cancelling of reviewer and what is the email needs to be sent to the reviewer can be entered here. So once all the details of it, the EIC can cancel the reviewer. So now the EIC can make the final decision. So click on Action and we can click on Accept and Move to Production. Now the EIC can choose what file needs to be moved to the production. So moving the revised manuscript. And at the production stage, they want to move the submission to archive, they can click the checkbox here. Now click on Submit. So now the file has been moved to the production stage. Based on the configuration, the article processing charge will be triggered in the production stage. So this will be notified to the author. So the author would have received the email regarding the article processing charge. Now I have logged into the author's login. So here you can see the APC statement. So since the author has requested the waiver, 50% waiver has been given to the author. So the total amount is to $25. So now the author can make the payment. So they can click on online or offline method. So clicking on offline and choosing the bank transfer, the author would have paid the amount in the bank and upload the payment receipt here. Once done, the author can update the offline payment. Now the article processing charge has been paid by the author. Now let's move to the EIC account. So the EIC received the notification that author has paid the payment. So in the left hand side, you can see a new tab that APC payment. Here the status will be in the payment pending. Why? Because the EIC need to approve the payment. So under the action, there is an option for make decision. So the payment proof can be downloaded and the EIC can verify the payment proof and select the decision whether to accept or reject the payment. Now the payment is accepted. So even if the author is choosing the online payment, this is the process we'll be following. So the amount will be directly landing to the connected bank account. So next, the manuscript moves to the production stage and the APC payment also has been done. Now the production related task will be carried out, such as typesetting, XML conversion, and more. So journal manager or editor-in-chief following the production task in the JMS itself. So here the production job will be triggered. So this we can see in the later video with the full production workflow configuration, which we can see in the another video. Now the manuscript has moved to the production and the APC payment is also made. So the next step is carrying out the production related task, such as typesetting, XML conversion, and making the manuscript ready for publication. So the journal manager or editor-in-chief has opted to choose our production management system inside the Crayoni JMS. So here itself, they can carry out the production related task they can assign the work to the respective task owner and carry out the production related task. In the later demo, we can see the full workflow of production configuration. Now, let's assume that the production is completed and the manuscript is ready for publication. So, let's assume internally the production work is completed, so that the EIC will be uploading the production completed files here. So, the production completed zip is uploaded. So, now the production is completed inside the JMS. Now, the prediction is completed. So, the EIC can assign the DOI to the manuscript. So, here there is an option for assign DOI. So, here the EIC can choose whether they are going with the issue-based suffix pattern or custom suffix pattern. Here in the custom suffix pattern, the EIC itself customize the suffix here. So, they can customize the suffix pattern like this, or based on the configuration, they can just enter the volume number for this manuscript and issue number for this manuscript. So, under this preview option, you can see the details. So, this is how the DOI looks. This is the DOI preview. So, the journal abbreviation is entered, volume, issue number and article ID is entered. To generate the DOI, the EIC can click on generate DOI. So, now the DOI is generated. Then the additional information, the DOI information will be there. So, the EIC can copy, paste and upload in their manuscript. And there are some additional options available, that is the article lifecycle. So, the EIC can click on summary and click on article lifecycle. Here, the full lifecycle of the article will be shown here. So, this it can be used for the indexing purpose. So, the EIC can download as an Excel or PDF. So, these details will be used for the indexing purpose. And for example, once the manuscript is published in the website, the Crossref compliant XML can also be downloaded from here. So, there is an option Crossref Meta. So, the EIC needs to be enter all the details here. First page of the manuscript and the last page of the manuscript. Published date. Let's assume this manuscript is published today in the website, and the article URL should be given here. So, for now, I'm just using the article URL. So, this article URL is the PDF URL to which the when this XML is deposited in the Crossref, to which URL it needs to be redirected. Once all the details are filled, click on download. Now you can see the Crossref compliant XML is downloaded. So, this can be used for indexing purpose. So, the EIC can directly drop this XML in the Crossref platform. So, in today's demo, we have covered the overall workflow of Crayoni JMS. Hope you like this video. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the comment section. And in our next video, we can see the whole production workflow configuration. Thank you.